What is going on, guys? Welcome to the pre-party here on the Crash Course Metal Show and all of the other regular guests that we're going to be having here on the pre-party live streams. What is going on, Sam, Mizzie, and Richy? What's going on, guys?
Hi.
Hi. Not much.
So,
I can see you.
yes. So, I'm going to show off our intro video here, and then we will be right back, guys.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right, so what I had in mind for us tonight is that we are going to go through some rock and metal news. We're going to go through some just random talk, some of the topics that are going on this week, and then also too, since this is kind of like our first live stream. Now I have talked to each and one of you singly, but we have all not been together or done a show together or a live show together in ever. So like this is the first time. So what I'm kind of gonna do is go around the table here and kind of introduce ourselves, if you will, because since we are connected to each one of our profiles on YouTube, on Facebook, and such, people don't know who we are. So I thought we will go around the table and kind of give a quick little introduction who you are and what you guys do as far as content creation stuff in your channels. So Sam, since you're next to me, I'm gonna go with Sam first.
I'm Sam. I've been doing the YouTube thing. I've interviewed some guys from Alice Cooper's band. I've interviewed Bumblefoot most recently. And other than that, mainly my main thing is musician. I play locally down here in Nashville. And then I also drum tech for Stephen Piercy of Rat. So that is
Nice.
that is all I do. Oh, there's my channel.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my goodness, I haven't updated that header photo in ages.
I was gonna say
Wow,
we
I
got
look like a
very
child
many
in that
Sams.
picture. Yeah, but so some of the Kicks guys have been on, and just if you like 80s metal, you'll like some of the people who I've talked to.
Sorry.
Nice.
Okay. All right. Nice. So, Mizzie, you are up next. Tell us a little bit about
Hi.
yourself.
Okay. Straight up on the spot. I don't know. I'm a musician. I have been since I was about 5 years old. Been doing lots of different things since then. Playing guitar since I was 10. And then I was in a rock band that I started a couple of years ago, but then I had to finish that because I broke up with an ex and moved to Melbourne. Not that that's important. But then I came back because I live in Brisbane in Australia. And then I made myself a task to write 100 songs in 100 days. And then after that, I started the Heart Attacks, which is behind me here, which is a little project where there's me in a band and I am all four girls. So I play the drums, the bass, the guitar, and the lead singing. It may become a cartoon. It may become something else. I might need holograms on a stage. But at the moment, I'm working on that. And I also make random content on my Facebook, like dressing up and doing silly videos, and then also putting up cover songs and new songs that I randomly release and stuff like that. So, yeah, lots of different things.
Okay.
is what
Very
I do.
cool. Very cool. I will come back and ask about the heart attacks then, as far as because I have some questions about that, and I think a lot of people
Okay.
are going to have questions about that. But we'll get to that a little bit later. So,
Yeah,
Richie,
that's okay.
my man, what's going on? Can you tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about what you do?
So basically, I run the YouTube channel Richy Kourse Productions. I do documentaries, reactions, and interviews, all based around 80s hair metal. And I try to dip my foot into, genres that would be connected to that. I'm from Ireland. I live in France. Looking for a job. Basically.
Your accent is so cool. I'm loving this.
I was going to say we have an Irish, someone from Ireland. We have someone. Well, we got two people from America, USA, which is nothing
Boring,
special.
yeah.
And then we have Mizzie from Australia. So like we are hitting like a good amount of the globe. Well, not a good amount, but we're hitting different spots of the globe, I'll say. So
Yeah, man. All the demographics.
yeah, good stuff. So, guys, first question. Next question, I guess I should say, is tell us a little bit about your favorite band. So, like, obviously here on the Crash Course Metal Show, we talk a lot about the hair metal, glam metal, sleaze metal from the past, present, and future. So that is what generally we're going to talk about for the most part in our live streams, but we're going to talk about a whole range of things. So, but kind of give us a little bit of what you like as far as old bands and as far as new bands that you really enjoy as well. So we'll go in the same order. So Sam, if you want to go next, tell us all about it.
Yeah, so for me, it started with my mom taking me to Bon Jovi when I was a kid, and it's gotten worse since then. So, I mean, you see, I got Alice Cooper stuff here, Rat behind me, Foreigner, Kiss. I see Docket on your shelf, Trevor, so that also has caught my eye. Just anything in that vein, really. All that kind of stuff is all good for me. And I mean, anything outside of that. For new bands, I actually my roommate showed me Shiraz Lane, who I didn't really look into.
I love them.
I just saw them for the first time on Monsters of Rock, and they are incredible. They are absolutely amazing. So if anybody has not checked them out, go check out Shiraz Lane.
Okay. Very good band, though. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah. So, Mizzie, tell us a little bit about what you like as far as new bands and old bands.
Well, the old bands are the ones that most people know. Like we were talking about it the other day. So Cinderella's definitely an old favorite. I love Wasp. That's the other one. And anything that had sort of Ted Nugent and David Lee Roth in it. I just love the main lead singers that have that extreme crazy charisma with the over the top everything. Those people are sort of my idols just because they got like that. The energy levels and the constant blah, 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 because I'm very blah, 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 blah. So I like that too. I also really like Shiraz Lane and Crash Diet. Those are two. There was one that I absolutely love and I've totally blanked their name. I know the lead singer's name is Lizzie, but it's a dude.
Lizzie Devine.
Oh yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Jenna. Right?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, absolutely love their band. What was the name of their band again? I'm so sorry.
Veins of Jenna, he was in first, and then
no, not that one. The other one.
Cruel Intentions.
The Cruel Intentions. Okay, the Cruel Intentions. I'm so sorry, I totally blanked that, but I absolutely love that band. They're one of my favorites at the moment for sure.
Lizzie is the man. I will say that he's badass.
Yeah, he's cool. And I recently had a kid. Was that like a year ago now? Maybe.
Oh really? Okay, I didn't see that.
The kid was on the cruise. He brought the kid with him.
Really?
I saw him running around.
Son of a bitch. Okay, Sam.
So cute.
I want to come back to the Monsters of Rock cruise then after we get through some of our questions here.
Yeah, so do I.
yeah. So, Richy, tell us. I'm quite interested to see what you're going to say about the new bands, but also some of the old stuff as well.
So for me, Skid Row, Guns N' Roses, LA Guns, Cinderella, as far as 80s glam rock, 2000s beyond, it's got to be Crash Diet, Black Rain, Sister, Harsh. But, my favorite bands, it always keeps changing because, like you guys, I mean, we love this genre. We're always discovering new bands. I mean, Mother Love Bone, it was from a while ago. They're pre-Pearl Jam, but I just discovered, I really got into the music in the last couple of days, and I am hooked, man. Have you ever heard Mother Love Bone?
Yeah, I have one of their albums over here, yeah.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, man.
I need to write it down. So I'm going on a thing where I'm writing everything down so I can learn more as I go, right?
Yeah, Mother Love Bone was, they got lumped in the grunge kind of scene, but they're a little bit more than that, though. They're a little more than
they're heavy glam, I'd say.
They're more on our side, really.
Yeah. Okay. What's the one song I really like? Is it Crown of Thorns? I can't remember. It's been a couple years since I listened to them, but they're a good band. Good stuff from them as well. So, yeah, I mean I like all of your guys' choices because, as Richy said, we kind of we don't. That's one of the things I is a pet peeve for me is when I hear the old. I mean, it's with young people and old people too, of the original era. They don't give nothing new a chance. They don't give new bands. They just don't want to. Whatever they grew up with is what they stick with. Now I know Richy, you did a couple videos specifically on that topic, and which was great. And I do agree with that, and I see that all the time. I saw it all the time when I grew up. Now we might actually be doxing our age, Richy, compared to Sam and Mizzie, but definitely I know in the late 2000s, the 10s and stuff, a lot of the original era hair metal fans or just metal fans from the 80s, they did not really give Dirty Penny, Crash Diet, Vein Jenna, those type of bands, the second wave of sleaze metal during that renaissance, they did not give them a chance, and that's why those bands only had like 1 or 2 albums, because no one supported them. No one came out to see them live, bought the albums, or what have you. You want to touch on that?
Like that's crazy. That's crazy to me because I mean, like they're keeping the genre that we love alive, and just because the system that made a band make it has changed. It's like they're not valid in the eyes of the people who used to watch the bands on the TV. It's the symptom of, oh, that band's on the TV.
Right.
They're legit, and that band's on YouTube. They're not serious. I think that's the problem. Like it's just a different generational mindset, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, Sam and Mizzie, do you have any comments on that? Now, you guys are younger than us, so I don't know what exactly you guys see as far as like your generation. So or like the people you grew up with, and like what you've seen on your sides of the ponds.
I think. Sorry, do you want to go?
No, yeah. Go ahead.
So I think a lot from what I'm noticing now is a lot of it that when you were little. I'm guessing when we were little. We only had certain channels. We didn't have, because when Foxtel came along, like in Australia, we had Foxtel and something else called Star. And then, you could pick different shows to watch. But when you were little, you get up in the morning and like MTV is going to be still on from the night before, or Rage, or we had Rage here, which it would start at about 2 a.m. in the morning. And if you were earlier, get up really early at 5 a.m., it'd still be Rage, and then it'd be Yoga, and then it'd be Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh and all that other stuff. But the thing is, you didn't have much channels to choose from. So if there was a band on MTV, that's what you're watching. And you couldn't skip over it. You couldn't fast forward or anything like that. You were watching that band. So either way, you had to listen to it. And I think that had a huge influence on kids being able to watch music. Because I know I found John Mayer. I love his guitar playing, right? I first heard him, I think, when I was 8. And it was one of those songs, again, it came on the TV. You can't change the channel, so you have to watch John Mayer play his song. So I absolutely loved this song called Fathers Be Good to Your Daughters, and fell in love with it because of that, and a bunch of other musicians that came on, because you have to watch them. Now we don't have to. Now we can skip through whatever we want, and bands are going to be missed because they can't, like, even if you do get on Rage, awesome, but no one's going to be awake to watch it because they're on some other Netflix channel watching, The Simpsons or something. Look, I love The Simpsons. What's that, Stranger Things? I'm thinking of Stranger Things, You can choose to binge watch, but you have to really go and find these documentaries. Like, there is a lot of documentaries coming out on singers, which is great, like all different ones, which you can go and watch. But yeah, I think being forced to have to watch certain things at a certain age really helps influence what you're watching and what bands you get to see and don't see anymore.
That's a good point. Sam, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, just the age we live in now, it helps bring attention to new stuff. I mean, I've found many bands who I'll just be shuffling through like recommended songs, and then just random stuff that I've never heard before will come on. So it definitely helps in the age now, which I think people who are growing up in this age are more open to that kind of stuff, because they're just kind of used to getting bombarded by random, like, even advertisements, just random stuff. But people who grew up, in the 80s, in the heyday, maybe with like, Doc and Poison, they only really knew what was popular or what was on MTV. But now I think people who are growing up in the more digital age are able to kind of open their mind a little more and open it up to some of those younger bands, give them a chance.
Yeah, like they can see the whole genre, if you will, and the whole landscape of it.
Yeah.
Like you said, nothing particularly is being shoved down your throat. Yes, you still have your big bands that are like always in your face.
Oh yeah.
But it's not nearly as bad as, like, say, MTV playing Guns N' Roses for like a year straight, every night, every hour on the hour, or what have you. So, but yeah, okay, good points, all good points. So now, Sam, I want to come back to you and ask about the Monsters of Rock cruise, because that's something that we always hear about, and I like what they're doing with the billing as far as like the bands, because like that's one of the big things, like with M3 Fest, the last like 5 years is just the bill and like who's all coming is just not, the weekend is just not as special as it used to be, for different reasons. But certainly one for me anyway is like the bill of bands, and I want to get your personal take, since you were just there this year on the Monsters of Rock cruise. Tell me some good, tell me some bad, tell me what it was like.
It's nice because they since it's a cruise, they have a bigger budget, so they're able to bring in a lot of the like Swedish or Finland, like so like hardcore superstars there, like Cruel Intentions. So a lot of people that you're not going to really get to see unless you go overseas. And then the big one like this year was Michael Monroe. Like now he's doing a whole U.S. tour off the back of it because he had to travel over here anyway. Like so it opens up the door to those kind of people. That's honestly the big draw of the cruise. Is just it's cool to have all those bands in one place, but there's a lot of bands, like there's a lot of people on it that you are going to see at the same place on some of those festivals. But the big draw is having all those bands in one place, plus the guys like Michael Monroe, Crocus, Cruel Intentions, Hardcore Superstar. That's really the big thing about the cruise. It's really cool to be able to get those experiences. Like I never thought I'd see Michael Monroe, but I got to see him on the cruise. Like,
when you're on the cruise, is everybody just walking around?
Yeah, for the most part.
Between like artists and
no,
people?
for the most part, everyone's just walking around, and it's weird to kind of see them just out like with their families. And so there was a couple times I ran into Johnny D. He's playing with Taiketo now, but like it's just like him and his wife and his kid just like going out to dinner, and we just say hi. It's just so weird just seeing everybody in their normal like family environment.
That I would so love to see that.
Everybody's in this surreal biome.
Yeah, everyone's super cool. I mean, the artists who are out and around, they are gonna be cool if you want to talk to them because they don't have to be out too. Right. Like, they can just stay at a room and order room service.
Stay in your room for 3
days.
days.
The ones who go out, that they're not gonna be, an ass to you.
That's always a plus. That's always a plus. So that's cool because like that's always a thing that I did want to do because like you do, like you said, you do get the European bands, the Swedish bands and stuff that you don't usually see, especially since COVID. Like there's a lot of overseas bands that don't come over to America anymore specifically because of the passports and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that is usually an event or venue. The ship, the Monsters Rock Cruise, is where you can see a lot of those bands. And that's just absolutely cool because of that. So
yeah, no, it's a really cool thing, and it's kind of one of a kind. I mean, nobody else really does that.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say, did you see the lineup for next year? Like, isn't Zach Wild or Black Label Society gonna be there?
Headlining, which is, I mean, I'm happy that I say younger. He's not, young, but like, I'm happy that they're starting to kind of slowly shift it to more, less 80s because there's not many of them left. They're gonna have to eventually, sell out an entire cruise with just 30-year-olds.
Yeah.
What will Monsters of Rock Cruise look like in 10 years if they don't start phasing in?
Very good point.
Which is why I'm happy like the Darkness is back, which they were fantastic last year. So I'm happy that they're back. And just stuff like that. Like I'm glad that they're starting to plan for the future because I was worried for a minute that this would all just kind of go away at some point.
I was gonna say, Richie, what the Monsters of Rock Cruise would look like in 10 years is if they didn't try to get younger. They would look like the M3 Fest, basically, because they do not want to get any younger, and it's way apparent that that's the goal is to not get younger, and that's one of the big things that I don't like about it too. Is like, this isn't gonna be around in a couple years, the M3 Fest, because of that. You got to bring in the younger crowd, and like you said. As much as we love the golden era, the 80s, the early 90s, we love it, yes. But some of them just don't sound good anymore. And it's like, I'm not going to pay $500 for a weekend to hear that, as much as you love them, as much as we love them, I don't know. It's
brutal.
That's kind of my thought on that. So, but is that how you guys kind of feel too? Or...
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, like, who wants to see Vince Neil like fucking choke on his own spot? You know what I mean? It's just a bit like it's just honest. Like, I mean, like he's good, but at the same time, it's time to hang it up and pass the torch. Like,
yeah.
Sorry, Keith Richards will still be there.
100%.
Yes, it will.
So. anything else then, as far as your experience over at the Monsters of Rock cruise there, Sam?
Not really. No, I mean it's. I don't want to say it's exactly what you'd expect, but I don't, because I don't know what everyone expects, but it kind of is. I mean, it's just you get to see a bunch of cool bands, hang out with a bunch of cool, like-minded, fun people for 5 days, watch everybody get very drunk, and then get off and go home and wait till next year.
Really, really fun, and I would love to do that.
Yes.
May I ask, Sam, the whole Faster Pussycat situation, did you have like an inside look?
No, because that was not on our cruise. Yeah, that was the cruise before. So there was tributes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was on the 80s cruise. So
80s, yeah, I thought it was called something like the 80s cruise.
That was like a week before ours. Yeah, so we obviously there was tributes and stuff for Kimberly, but it did not happen on our cruise.
I was so sad. That is such a
it is, yeah, it's a horrible
poor
situation.
Baby.
But,
yeah, that was quite shocking. Reading about that, and it sucks because Tammy seems like an awesome guy too, and that happened, and prayers and thoughts for everyone involved in that,
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it sucks. So Sam here, Benjamin says we need.
Hi, Ben.
We need Broken Road on the next Monsters of Rock cruise, or whatever band Sam is playing in at that time.
Well, Ben has the distinct honor of being the one of few people who has been to every single Broken Road show ever, which is one. But I'm down. I don't know what I can't tell you what I'll be doing next year. My schedule seems to change daily, but
But he brings up a good point, like kind of what we're all agreeing on: evolve or die. And we are on life support as far as like the hair metal subgenre of metal, and just metal in general. To be completely honest with you, it seems like it's kind of not in a good place the last 15
everything
years
except
so.
metalcore is 50 plus.
Yes, I agree with you on that. So shout out to Sane's World, great channel over there as well. But yeah, definitely. So Richy, I kind of want to throw it to you here and ask what kind of. I seen you uploaded a recent video of Skid Row. Since we were talking about 80s bands, we'll go to Skid Row here. You just released a mini documentary, or it actually wasn't a mini doc. It was 30 minutes long, right? Okay, so a fair length documentary on the Subhuman Race, the third album here from Skid Row. Kind of walk me through this here. What was it like making that? Because I know it takes a shit ton of work for even like your mini documentary is like less than 15 minutes long. Like, okay, yeah, it's 10 minutes long, but that takes a lot of work just to do 10 minutes of a documentary. So can you kind of tell me what it was like making that?
It's a long process because you're kind of you want to give the audience something that they haven't, a new perspective that they haven't looked at before, and I've seen a lot of people just, take the songs of Subhuman Race at face value and say that it's a bad album when it's not. A lot of the songs, like a lot of effort and meaning are hidden within them songs. It's a very interesting album, and Breaking Down, for example, shares links with the song I Remember You. There's lots of clever little things hidden in them songs, and I decided to go back and go song by song and really process everything, because when I listen to that album and I close my eyes, I imagine so many things, and I wanted to try and convey that in a documentary and really sell people who didn't like the album in the first place or never heard of it before. I wanted to sell them that and go, here, go listen to that. I wanted to paint them a picture of how good it really is, and more so I wanted to kind of paint the picture of what the era and the time period was like during them years.
1995.
So that's what I tried to do.
Anyone that's unaware of the year,
95, 96. Those were the years. The reason I called it End of the Row is because that's what Sebastian Bach calls it in his book. Like, he gets to end of the row, subhuman beings. He says that, and that's where I got the title from. I thought End of the Row will really stand out. it's not obviously not the end of the band. It is for some people, but
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
and
I wanted to bring up, since you touched on it, the thinking of "I Remember You," the ballad from their debut album,
Mhm.
and breaking down as a second part to it. When you brought that to my attention, I'm like, I think you're right. Like, I like how
Yeah.
you brought that. Like, so do you have any kind of like strong evidence to really say yes, this is certainly like to convince someone that knows those two songs that had never heard that theory before? What would be the solid evidence to be like, yes, you can't dispute this as to why they're 1 and 2?
Um, in breaking down, the lyrics are as if you thought the rain could wash away the day and could heal you, right? And in I Remember You, it's we woke up to the soothing sounds of pouring rain. So like I Remember You is like the technicolor dream of, our relationship back then and how beautiful it all was, and breaking down is the cold hard reality that this person is fucking gone, man. You know? And when I stack them lyrics together in front of me in the Google Doc, I'm thinking it was like
A revelation,
know,
yeah.
and I was like, did nobody else put this together? Like, I've never seen anybody talk about that. And I even put it to John Haycock. So I was like, man, do you think these songs are links? He was like, yeah, I do.
Nice. Very
So
good.
it's really something.
Okay. So Sam, I know you have a little bit of a connection to this album, Subhuman Race.
I have a shirt that I was made to get like 20 minutes ago. Yeah. I shouldn't have told him I had the shirt. I had to go dig through my.
Yes. On the pre-show, I was like, Sam, are you?
Go put it on.
Then I gotta have my arms
I was
out
like,
and-
Sam, are you kidding me? You have this 1995 shirt. It's not authentic, but
No,
it is
I bought it like last year.
Yeah, it is of that tour though, so that's badass. So,
I wasn't at that tour. If anyone's wondering.
Yeah, you would have probably been minus 4 years old.
-9.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, I really dated myself there on that one.
-9. Wow.
But Sam, do you like this album? Like, tell me a little bit about the album
Yeah.
for you.
Oh yeah, it's for some reason I don't know why people are so hit or miss on this album, but I think I see nothing wrong with it. I mean, obviously it's a departure from everything else, but that's been it. Literally every Skid Row album is different.
Mhm.
It's just you got to evolve with them, and as
Right.
long as you're willing to do that, and as long as you're not going into the mindset of okay, I'm ready for piece of me. Yeah,
to the ground too.
as long as you're not going in with that mindset, you're going in with an open mind. I don't see why you would
Yeah.
have a problem with it. And you also brought up a good point of it's the end of the band for certain people. I don't get that either. So I think that the stuff they put out after this, or whether it was the EPs with ZP or the Gangs All Here album, like
Let's see.
I think it's all pretty good stuff. I mean, there's obviously like a couple misses, but I think overall Skid Row's output has been fantastic throughout their whole career.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even with Eric, the Gang's All Here, the most
Yeah.
recent album. I like that album.
Yeah,
It sucked when Eric left. I mean, I agree, but I get why he left. But it's like, man, Skid Row cannot catch a break. The last
No.
20 plus years here.
I'm curious what they're gonna do.
I know. So, Mizzie, are you familiar with Subhuman Race or any of
I am
the
not.
off of that? Okay. All right. So
I have
it
heard
is-
the albums previously, but not this one, not from
Okay.
the 1995, because I'm just
Okay.
sticking to
Write
80s.
it down.
But
So,
I do like Skid Row.
Okay, so
But I will check it out after this. I haven't done my homework.
okay. All right, good. Good deal. So, one of the things. So, actually, Mizzie, do you want to say anything about Skid Row in general that you like about them, or like since you don't have nothing really about this album, but like, does Sebastian Bach? I guess let me ask you this: does Sebastian Bach is one of those singers for you that has that charisma and stage presence that you were mentioning about earlier?
He was very handsome when he was younger.
That is the common answer that I have found between the female population.
Yeah, I do love his voice too. It reminds me a little bit like similar. I'm not going to talk about that looks, but Janie Lane. Similar
okay.
vibes. I do love the Jeannie Lane. But yeah, no, he also has a great voice, and I love, like I said in the other thing, I love their ballads. Anything that's ballady. I Remember You is a fantastic song.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't really focused on their lyrics as much as. Sorry, that.
I was
But
gonna say-
that's really cool that it's all been put together, and I never really thought to do that with. I know Wasp. They tend to do that with their albums. Like each album's a different story, and you have to follow along with the story that they're writing. Like he's writing in every single album that he puts out. But yeah, I haven't actually looked into Skid Row as much as you have with all the extra details, and I think that's absolutely beautiful that you've gone into it that hard, and. Because I think
Thank
the
you.
lyricists never really get that much credit for doing something like that, because people don't look into doing something like that for the musicians. And I think that's really important and really cool that they have fans like you that do go into it and actually study these things, so that that intelligence in the lyrics has been shown, which is fantastic. Because I will now listen and that does make people want to go and listen to it properly and listen to it more, which is fantastic. And I will also now do that because I love hearing stories within stories.
Yeah, because I feel like you get a lot of people who like look at the album and go, oh yeah, well the Telecaster tone is so cool and all, but it's like, these are artists. Talk about the fucking art. Talk about how it makes you fucking feel.
Yeah.
What are we in this for?
Because a lot of effort does go into that. Because usually, like when writing songs, it does bring up memories. It brings up everything. So it's telling you more about the singer or the writer, which which is strange. Sorry, off topic, but you can notice sometimes when you're listening to a singer and they're singing a song and you can tell like, oh, they definitely wrote that song. You can see that, you can feel that. I'm feeling the same thing they're feeling. And then when someone's written a song for someone else and then giving it to him. Some singers, they're really good at portraying it and getting into the feeling of the song and finding out what it is and what it's about and relating it to themselves through different stories. But sometimes it's like there is no connection here. I know you didn't write that song, so it's really cool to hear that you've really focused on that. And I think that's really important.
Yes. And to everyone that's watching, go check out Richy's channel, Richy Kourse Production, and The End of the Row, right, is what the video is called, correct? Okay. Yes.
End of the Row. A deeper look at the subhumanized era.
And check out a lot of Richy's other videos as well, because he does great mini documentaries. Who the hell else does documentaries on Krash diet? Give me a fucking break. And ever since I seen that, I'm like, Richy, you the man. so yeah, definitely. Richy has great content as far as mini documentaries. If you guys like that documentary style of video, very good stuff. Takes a lot of time to do, and I know firsthand how long that takes you. So great stuff. But yeah, man. So since you brought up Wasp, Mizzie, does anyone? We're all familiar with Wasp, so I'm gonna throw this question out. Do you guys have a favorite era? Or if you don't really have a favorite era of Wasp, do you have a favorite album of Wasp?
Yes. I'm not sure the name of the album, but I was just looking at it. You guys go first because I'm going to find what it is, because I was just talking about it the other day. And I really, really love the songs on this particular one.
I was introduced to Wasp with the Inside the Electric Circus album, but The Last Command.
Yes, that is also very agreed. Very agreed. The Last Command is definitely an absolute favorite.
Interesting. Great album. Sam, go ahead.
I'm basic, self-titled for me.
Yeah, you are pretty basic there, my man.
Sorry.
Damn it. So I'm going to be the outlier here, and the one that I've been really digging, or an era, I guess, I've been really digging lately, the last year or two, is the 90s era Wasps. So to where KFD, Still Not Black Enough, and Eldorado. Those albums are really, really good for being in the 90s. Like, KFD is a goddamn industrial album, if you will. Now, Blackie does say, Blackie says, oh, no, we weren't trying to be industrial. But, my God, Blackie, come on. Don't bullshit here. Come on. Come on. That kind of deal.
I mean, he said in an interview that it was snort.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
what is that?
Yeah, because part of his stage thing during that era was to kill a fake pig during the live performance and slaughter it.
Yes, he actually decapitated, or no, not decapitated technically, but he actually cut a real pig in half.
Oh, this explains the born again Christian thing.
Well, that didn't happen till a couple years after that tour. So,
it takes a little bit to settle in.
Yeah, and that tour, like, you can watch some video of that tour in 1997, the KFD tour, and it was pretty shocking. Like, he took what Marilyn Manson was doing And
I was
like,
gonna say Marilyn Manson. I'm like,
Yeah.
was this gonna be like an industrial Marilyn Manson vibe? Is this who the influence was in on this? Because
but better
kind
though.
of sounds like it. Yeah,
It's
and
better
more
though than Marilyn
death.
Manson because it's
Yeah,
Blackie,
dude.
so it's
Yeah.
gonna be better. So, but
Yeah.
no, I like that album. Now, don't listen to KFD when you're going out and partying in a couple hours because that's not the right context for the album. You need to be in like a dark room or in a certain mood to really enjoy what that album is and sounds like. So yeah, that's probably the era that I've been digging into a lot the last couple of years for me is the 90s era of Wasp. But all eras are great. I like all eras. I have all eras. So yeah, good deal. Okay, so we got some now at Mizzy. We did Inside the Electric Circus a couple weeks ago,
We did.
which I really always enjoyed. That was probably like one of my first Wasp albums, to be completely honest with everyone here. And I love that because that's like Wasp or Blackie's attempt at like really glammy hair metal sound.
And it was beautiful. I loved his outfits. And I was like trying to get the outfits together for the last dress up. I was like, do I do Tiger?
right. Yeah.
But The Last Command, I was going back to that. The Last Command is definitely my favorite one. The Blind in Texas sort of thing, as I've mentioned before, is my absolute favorite because that's one of my favorite songs. And Wild Child, another one. But I was just thinking about, I can't pronounce it. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. 2015 Golthia.
Yeah.
Golgotha.
How do you say it? Gotha?
I think it's Golgotha.
Golithica.
Golgotha?
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up here now.
Gothia.
Okay,
There's
go
a
ahead.
song on.
I'm gonna look it up here because I know
Yeah.
which one. It's like the real Christian based.
Yeah, it's got a cross on the front there, so he's getting.
Yeah.
But I Miss You. There's a song on there called I Miss You.
yeah.
I can't. I was listening to the other day. That's the song that I'm gonna cover for the Band of the Week thing, or try to attempt to. I really don't like covering songs of my favorite people because I feel like don't do it, trash it, even for myself. But I love that song. Oh my god, it's so sad. And look, Blackie's got that voice that can just any song, even if it's like a really happy song, it's like a wild child, I love you, and it's like still sad. It still sounds really sad somehow. He's just the emotion he's got. There it is. He's got great emotion.
Golgotha is how
Golgotha.
you say that.
Golgotha. Sorry. I love that. How do I say it? Golgotha.
That is a great song. It's very ballady, very moody. You know,
I
like
won't pass
song a
that.
lot. Yes. Oh, and then to your other point here of Blackie's outfit on Inside the Electric Circus, right there.
Yeah.
Blackie's a leopard or a
Isn't he
tiger or something.
adorable? Tiger.
Yeah, he's a
Coming at
tiger.
you with claws. He's got claws on. He's got claws on.
Yes, he
Look at
does.
the claws. You can't play guitar with those claws.
It looks like a
Black.
Cheetos costume.
Oh, what? The Cheetos?
You know the crisps. The crisp Cheetos. It's kind of like you went out and bought a costume with that, and then just didn't put the mask on.
You're right.
Oh, Tony the Tiger? Or...
The albums are great.
Crash, bring up the
there,
Cheetos,
Sam.
guys.
They're so cute. Oh my god. Yeah.
But that's a very good album. That's an album that gets shit on, and it's really good,
Yeah.
especially if you like the hair metal sound. You know, so I don't get it, but you know, it is what it is. So, all right, switching gears a little bit here, Mizzy, I want to go back to you here about your Heart Attacks, your project that you're working on now. A lot of people talk about the AI, artificial intelligence, in music now. Can you kind of talk a little bit about like what some behind the scenes, what goes into that when you're doing a project like this?
Well, so far the music isn't AI yet. I mean, I can make something, but there's a whole story behind the what the Heart Attacks is going to be. Because I've written there's going to be like a storybook. There's going to be a whole thing where there's a theory where Mizzie has to be taken from, which is why they're clones. So technically, it gets a little weird. It's a little different from other bands, and it's completely out of the box because my brain. Oops, I slap my hands on things. My brain goes absolutely wild sometimes, and it starts somewhere and then goes somewhere else. So basically, what this is. First, to be able to perform it, there's like different sections. For me to be able to go out and perform in this band, I do have to make holograms. I think is the best way to go with this at the moment. I did see the Gorillas, I think it was around 215, 216, that they used something cool like that on their stage where they were able to make the monkeys perform live on stage, and it made it look like they were real, even though it was still a cartoon. I have seen someone else sent me this girl, she's not real, and then she's a lead singer and she's an AI band. It's got millions of followers, so at least that's being accepted. When it comes to making the cartoon is going to be AI. The only difference with that, it's not going to be any different from any other cartoon. It's just going to be a lot quicker to make a cartoon because of the technology we have now, which is fantastic. But learning to do it myself is really difficult because I have to learn how to use. It's called Runway, and then because AI isn't real, right? So it doesn't really listen to you. So you tell it to do something, and it's like, okay, I'm going to do this, then it makes it, and then it's like, can you do the same thing again? It's like, no. I can't give you the same thing again. So it's trying to get it to continuously make the same image 1,000 times. It doesn't do it. So then I have to make 3D characters. So now I'm at the process where I'm trying to take pictures of myself from this angle, this angle, this angle, this angle, and then upload that to make a 3D character, which is a whole other program again. So that's making the characters and trying to make them into...
Using Blender for that?
Yeah. Blender is one of the ones that have come up, but I think there's another version of Runway to use that as well. But I think in the end, I'm going to need to learn to use Adobe. What's it called? I can't remember. There's Adobe Movie Maker program that I'll probably have to learn in the end, or it might take up too much time and get someone else to do it. I think may also be the thing that I go with here because I'm already trying to write the music and play the instruments and be 4 characters, which is really hard. The other thing is I can be all the 4 characters and act it out as myself, which I've made like a practice clip that ChatGPT wrote me a practice clip for them to try and get their characters right. But that's still in the works of getting that right as well. The music, I still need to get an album together to be able to perform. But basically, Mizzie's in the 80s, and this time traveler comes from the future, and he's all like, creativity's all gone because AI has taken over the world, blah, blah, blah. You can write songs and do all this other stuff, so really lame. And you're super creative, and we need you for the future. So then I get taken into the future, and then because everyone's brains have been like chipped up, then I get cloned. So that there's more than one person, but when I get cloned, my different parts of my DNA end up going into these other 3 characters, which is why I've got Stasi. Stasi's the drummer. She's an asshole. Like, she's a bitch.
I took notice of that. Yeah, I took notice.
It's kind of like Bill and Ted and Terminator.
Yeah, pretty much. So this is. So it gets kind of interesting, but I still have to work out what's going on in my own head to make this happen. So this is sort of the story. And then what's it? Blaze, who's the guitarist. She is really bubbly and crazy all the time. So she's got that part, but I used to always speak country and stuff when I was little, and she sings the country songs. There's a lot of country in a lot of my songs because of how much country I had to listen to growing up. So she's got all that part. And then Lilu's like really quiet and can say smart things occasionally, but usually she keeps to herself. But that didn't really come across in the thing that I put over on the little practice clip. So there's all that happens. And then Mizzie is just the lead singer and just tries to be me, but now it just sounds really weird that every time I have to say my name in third person, it makes me feel insane. So I don't know if I'll end up going insane from doing this. But so that's all of that. And then like Gem and the Holograms, this is where the AI music does come into it, where I will be writing music with the AI programs like Suno. Because there's going to be a rival band. The rival band because in Gem and the Holograms, there was a rival band, but AI is going to be a rival band, and they are going to be writing with AI music. So the Heart Attacks are going to have to write real music. Okay, me writing real music for the Heart Attacks to defeat the AI band. And then there's like these rogue people, that are separated from the AI system, and they're going to be also part of helping Mizzie Max and all this. Anyway, it's
sounds like a lot for one person to be doing.
Yeah,
even with AI.
So I have to do all of that, and that's why it's taking time. And there's also parts of me that are just like, okay, I don't really want to do this much. I could keep it simple, but I don't. There's an image in my head that I really need to get out, and I really want to see it for realsies. I think it's something I sort of wanted since I was like 5 years old, and everything that I've been doing has led up to this. It feels like that sounds mental too, but it's just one of those things, like I feel like it needs to be done. But on the other side of everything, I just want to go and perform and join a band and just play rock music again. Yeah. But I have to keep putting that aside because I don't have time to do all that. But I'd really, all in all, really love to, and then just like make an album and go on tour and do everything that way. I'd love to do that, but
you need the following and the money though too. So like, you have one side of it, but then you need the other side to, work together, if you will. So
yeah, because I have to work to make money, obviously, to pay for this project. And it's not too expensive so far, but when it comes to doing the other parts, the holograms and the stage performances and all that, that's going to get expensive. But the thing is, I've learned from being in bands and things like that, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to be touring. I'm not going to be making albums and stuff for no reason. Like, you know, I want to build up a following and I want to make sure that there is people to put this out to. So it's great to write, like, I love writing albums and I love writing music and I love being able to show people, but I'd rather have people to show, you know, like it's fun. You can sell your album to like 100 people, yay. But then what? Then you got to go into it. Then you go into your album. You're paying for that. Say you go down to Melbourne, Sydney, you go overseas. You're paying for all of it the whole entire time. So it's like that's really great, but it then becomes more of a hobby. But if you're going to live your dreams, right? Wouldn't you rather be paid doing something you love? And even if that never happens for me, it's more the fact that it's really fun trying. You know, like, and the amounts of people that are doing it.
And that you gave it your all when you could.
Yeah.
You know,
and
at the end of the day, that's what all you can do.
Yeah. And I get to have a lot of fun in my own brain doing this sort of stuff. And my room is absolutely messed right now with costumes and outfits in pink and black, and there's stuff everywhere. So it's a mess. But it's all Heart Attack's designs, and it's like it's all like I'm living in my own fake little world of what do I say, bullshit. My room is a fake reality, and I love it.
Whether it's 100 albums.
What? Sorry.
Whether it's 100 albums or 1,000 albums, like in years to come, your CD is going to be in somebody's house, and somebody's going to pick it up.
That is so cute.
So you'll live on past your life. I mean, most people do 9-to-5 jobs and they're not remembered. They save money and build their own house. They're not remembered. Your CD will be somewhere. You will be remembered.
You are so beautiful.
Whether it's 100 or 1,000 people.
Oh my god, my little heart! I love that. But that is so true. That is so true. At least my mum will have it.
You know.
So.
Your lasting legacy. That's what it's all about, man.
It is. So I want to give a couple shout outs here to people that are watching. Bands that are watching. So we have here Andy. Just opened up another beer. I believe Andy is from Sweden, if I can remember correctly. And he's in the band Smoking Snakes. So if you guys...
That sounds like a kick-ass name.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Hi, Andy!
They are a sleazy band, a brand new band. They released an album on Frontiers Records last year, I think it was. And great album. We also have here Pat Schumacher. What's going on, brother? He is the bass player for a band called Sick Vicky here in Pennsylvania. They had their debut album in 1993, so they caught the tail end of the golden era. Great album. If anyone's not familiar with that album, please check that out as well. And then we also had here, I seen rolling around, is Sane's World with his channel, but he's also in a band called Cruella de Vil.
I love that. I think I've heard of them.
Maybe.
Recently.
Decline of Civilization, Part 2 of the Metal Years. Is that the guy with the black and white hair?
No, well, he's not in that movie, but when he was on the show here, we were talking about that movie. I don't know. And that might have been one of the times you were on one of the live streams. Yeah. So, but yeah, definitely check them out as well.
Sane's World, party time.
Wayne. So party on Wayne and party on Garth. Party on Garth.
So, one of my other questions I want to throw at you guys here is, do you guys have we kind of hit the favorite bands, but do you have like that one album that kind of made you guys do what you're doing today? Like, whether that be playing music or just doing a music channel, you know, like, or just an album that made you guys who you are today. Sam, you want to go first?
For that kind of impact, total album, not really. It's just kind of scattered songs. There was no one album that really changed I mean, obviously I have a bunch of albums that I love and will go all the way through, but I don't know if there was a specific album that did that. It was more from like live shows and that kind of stuff.
Do you have any list of songs then that come to your mind, or like, if I'm going to a desert island, I only have 10 songs to listen to the rest of my life. Can you pick a couple?
Oh, damn.
I don't want to put you on the spot. Okay. Think about it. We'll come back to you.
All right. I'll think about
Mizzie,
it.
Do you have an album that changed your life, or, you know, met
Does it matter if it's not glam rock?
Oh, yeah. No, we're going to burn you at the stake. No, I'm just kidding.
Look, I was an interesting child. I thought I was a dinosaur for about 4 years straight. But I didn't have any glam rock influences around me at the time when I was little. It's more something that I did later on. So I had a Brian Adams live album, I'm Ready. It was a 2-disc cassette, like CD thing. I listened to that on repeat a lot when I was like, I think 8. So Bruce Springsteen was also around a lot. So that was Born in the USA. Massive. Every time I hear that album, I don't know, that makes me really sad. It reminds me of being at home with my family a long time ago. And I think I was about 4. And my favorite first song ever was Rock and Roll Radio by the Ramones.
Ooh, okay.
When I was like 2. So those sorts of things. And then unfortunately, there was like, not unfortunately, I love the Dixie Chicks. That was something that my mum loved. And she was always in charge of what's in the car when she's driving. So she liked to do that thing where she puts in one CD and now we're listening to it for the rest of the year on repeat. That and Dr. Hook. I could tell you, Dr. Hook best hits album. I could sing every song by heart, without that. So all these sort of influenced everything that I was doing. So Bryan Adams and Bruce Springsteen influences my writing a lot. The Dixie Chicks also did, because I used to write out all their lyrics when I was little, and then worked out different ways of writing, which is really cool, because I'd do that thing where they write down their lyrics, the first verse and the first chorus, and then the chorus lyrics would relate back to the first verse, but then the second verse would come and the second chorus lyrics would be similar, but it would slightly change in relation to the second verse. And so it would always tell a story, which is really sweet. So I figured out that kind of writing when I was little. But yeah, all those sorts of things. And playing the guitar also started with the Dixie Chicks too, and wanting to learn country, and I learnt the banjo at the same time. And then that turned into more like pop rock, Yellow Card, Amblin, those sorts of really the Used. So I was like 13, 14. We had like the Used. I think they're great. And then it started. Oh, and there's also Queen in and around there as well. Loved Queen, loved Freddie Mercury. He is, again, an amazing performer. Love his energy and his vibe. He just doesn't care what anyone thinks. He was out to get what he wanted and he got it, which was fantastic. But yeah, all these things combined, and Hampton and the Hamsters, which was an album that had 2 CDs. No one knows about it. It's like 4 hamsters, and they kind of talk like this, which is where else I got like Mexican accent from.
Like Alvin and the Chipmunks, I guess, right? Something like that? Okay.
Yeah. No, it didn't last long. But yeah, one of the Dixie Chicks. They would talk like this, and I used to walk around and have a dinosaur tail.
Interesting. That made Mizzie who Mizzie is today. That's nice. That's very interesting. Then you finally saw the light a couple years ago.
I found the light. I found some real rock and roll.
Yeah, then you came over to our side.
Yeah, and it was really cool. And the outfits were amazing. The voices were phenomenal in this amazing rock way, because you listen to like the Used and it's like punk and whatever. But then these guys actually had voices. They could hit notes all the way up, and like yelling. So that helped improve my idea of how high you can sing, which is really beautiful. The guitar playing, the kind of guitars you can own, the amps, the everything. I learned so much because of 80s rock and the glam scene and everything. And then my whole life completely changed after listening to them, basically. Okay. It really fit in perfectly, and I fell in love with all of it.
Nice. That's what we like to hear. And that's usually when people listen to this genre or the subgenre, hair metal, specifically, with an open mind, you cannot love it. So
it's perfect. And if you don't like one singer, you're gonna love the other one.
Yes,
there's all different genres within genres of the hair metal, which is fantastic.
Yes, I agree. That's God's law.
Right?
That is number 1 commandment here on the Crash Course channel. So there we go. So Richy, my man, tell me a little bit about what kind of made you.
I did it backwards, man. I mean, the first album that got me into rock, Marilyn Manson's Antichrist Superstar. Swear to God. Now, because I hit the age. I was 13. All the kids on my road are starting to kind of try to be something, and new metal was around. It was bands like Slipknot, all that kind of stuff. So I got my hands on Antichrist Superstar, and I loved the theatrics of it. I loved, it was mad. It was total balls to the wall album. But then as I got older, I got into Guns N' Roses, and then I arrived at Glam the day I walked into HMV, and I picked up Poison's Greatest Hits. And to quote the man himself, who is this? Why is this on there? And I'm combing through the fucking the booklet, and I'm looking at the image, and I think this is awesome. I love it, you know. And I got into the songs, and the thing I noticed about glam metal is that they sing about real things, you know. They sing about love, loss, fucking what's going on in the world, you know. Metal, black metal, and all of that. I mean, as much as they want to dump on our genre, you know, they escape. You know, we talk about what's real, you know. And one of the things that was happening, you know, around that time was a lot of normal people would attack the rockers in Ireland. So it was rockers versus these kind of people. No matter where we went, we were the outcasts, so to speak. But then, you know, I hear Krash Diet writing everyone singing they think they can hold us down forever. Things like that, you know, like Pretty Boy Floyd talked about it in their songs as well. Plenty of them. A lot of rockers' pride type songs in the glam metal genre. So, you know, years later, I get into YouTube, and I was frustrated that there was no Shotgun Messiah behind the music. You know, the VH1 series that documented all these bands. There was a lot of bands missing for me, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do this for real. I had experimented, you know, taking the piss out of Modern Talking and that kind of stuff, and then I said, right, let's do one for real. Let's do Shotgun Messiah. And I was like, I'm not going to bore people. I'm going to condense it down to 10 minutes, and I'm making it on a phone. So,
that's amazing.
I didn't expect it to go anywhere. I just said, fuck it, I'll put it out. And then after a couple of months, it was like, oh, holy shit, that's actually doing something.
Cool.
I'll keep doing it. And then I wasn't putting thumbnails to these things either. Like, the algorithm was kind of favoring that, so they were getting to maybe a couple of hundred views, and that was like amazing. And then I dropped my Skid Row series, Decline of Skid Row. I make one video, you know, documenting the first and second album. Then I get a text from my friend who's living in America. He's like, Richy, Eddie Trunk is shouting your fucking video out.
No.
Yeah, because I went to work, right, and I'm looking at the analytics of this thing, and it's like, and I'm like, what? It's just thousands of views overnight. Like, it was, so that was like my 2 minutes or 2 seconds of
Fame.
You know, I wouldn't even
That
call
is
it
so
that.
cool,
Like,
though. That's something to keep for life. If Eddie Trunk's on your things, like, oh my god,
yeah, man.
well done for that. Hell yeah,
Very good.
That's sick.
I know that's the thing, and like I mean, I feel like a broken record, but dude, your channel, man, like deserves more subscribers because of
I appreciate it.
because you don't talk about the same boring bands all the time that everyone else talks about, or like that radio plays or whatever, and that's to be commended, you know, and to get the underground some love, and 100%. So Sam, do you have an answer for us now?
I have I've wrote down a couple that come to mind. I didn't want to just start naming stuff, so I wrote down a couple. A lot of them are just for nostalgia reasons, but so That's What the Water by Bon Jovi, which is from like the 2013 album that I don't think anybody listened to except me, because that's what I grew up with. It was like that era. So Back for More, but the EP version. Don't ask why. I don't know why. Feed My Frankenstein, but the version from the live album from 2017.
Oh,
you got the EP. I respect that. No Ring Around Rosie by Kix, which is that's a fucking great song. High Enough by Damn Yankees. That is also a great song. When You Close Your Eyes by Night Ranger, which is, I felt weird putting both of them on, but that's fine. Jack Blades gets double
you should feel weird there, Sam. Jack
Blades gets a lot of recognition. Times Like These by Foo Fighters.
Okay.
And then Feels Like the First Time by Foreigner. That's what came to my head.
Yeah, that's a great song.
That's a nice little list there. I like it.
I have to be prepared for these things.
I know.
I should have
spot. Damn it! Now you guys put me on the spot.
Yeah, your turn.
But
now you see how it feels.
Okay, so I agree 100% with as far as what one of your points were, Richy, as like this hair metal genre was growing, maturing in
Yeah.
the early '90s, and then grunge, the music industry, MTV, cut it from underneath the hair metal because you had growth and you had edginess. What from the sleaze subgenre? Like you had a break in like 1989, I guess technically 87 when Guns N' Roses hit the scene because they
Yeah.
kind of were like the prototypical sleaze, or you could say the pioneering of sleaze, along with Rock's Gang, and then along with LA Guns as well. Next year later, and then you had a little like offshoot. Then you had bands kind of get more glammy and a little bit more not so serious, if you will. Bands like Pretty Boy Floyd, Tough. I'll throw Trickster in there as well. You know, like bands like that, which is fine. You know, that it's more of a teenager base audience that they're kind of singing to and writing about and stuff to an extent, and especially debut album. And then you had also sleaze metal. You had like Spread Eagle coming in. You had Love Hate coming in. You had bands just like that that were getting more serious. I'll throw in Warrant's Dog Eat Dog, their third album from 1992. That son of a bitch is Janie Lane's masterpiece, Warrant's masterpiece, one of the best in the hair metal genre in general, just because of the songwriting, how mature it is. There are some fun songs on there as well. It's a good mix because you had like Warrant doing party songs and stuff as well on that album, but then you had like songs like 2031, Andy Warhol Was Right. The ballad, The Bitter Pill is like just a musical masterpiece, not just songwriting, but a musical masterpiece. Kind of like in the vein of like November Rain, if you will, from Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
But just not as long. But yeah, 100%. So that's where like, but it's so hard for like I'm kind of in the camp of Sam though, because like it's hard to because ever since I was like born, basically, anything from Poison, Cinderella, Britney Fox was like staples that made me who I am today. But as time goes on, like, yes, I had like my aunt always played Def Leppard, you know, like all
Yay,
those
go
albums.
ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, they're not my favorite band, but like they did help me grow, you know. And then as I was a young teenager, I started like collecting and stuff, and then that's where I got like the whole hair metal landscape that I'm like I loved, and then also like thrash metal and then power metal as well. But as I was getting older, I was like, hair metal is where I'm calling home for the most part, you know.
Yeah.
So like I seen everything on a level playing field as far as like Guns N' Roses. I didn't play Guns N' Roses all the time because someone said to me, "Oh, this is the coolest band ever." Which, you know, yeah, Appetite for Destruction is a good album, but is it the best in the genre? Not even close. So I know that's fighting words for some people, but that's just kind of like when you see everything on the same level with fresh eyes without anyone telling you what is what. Like these albums that never went gold, that never sold 250,000 copies, you know, are just as good as stuff that went multi-platinum, in my opinion. So
Agreed. That's what we were talking about the other day, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like
so,
how LA Guns N' Roses, LA Guns, I'd say, in my opinion, is better than Guns N' Roses.
you mean LA Guns? Oh, right. You
Sorry,
think
LA Guns. What am I saying? I don't know what I'm saying.
You said Guns N' Roses twice, but so
Sorry, I didn't sleep last night.
Yeah, reiterate there what you're trying to say.
I'm sorry. Oh my god, that's my brain. I also don't read very properly. No. Yeah, sorry. LA Guns is better than Guns N' Roses.
Okay, I'm with you. I am with you on that.
I just like their music better. There's more heartfelt songs in there, and like they're just great. And you know, the voices on it are they're just great. They're just great. I love Travis. What am I saying now? Now I've gone.
For me, man, LA
Just help
Guns,
me.
like, it's going out music, isn't it? It's going out with the boys, you know?
Those first three albums
You can't going to the pub, man.
Yeah. It's because to me, the first four albums are gold up until Vicious Circle and like 1994. Then after that, LA Guns did not know what they were doing. They had multiple bands at the same time.
What's wrong? You don't like the Jizzy Pearl album?
What album?
No,
the
it's not that
Star
good.
album.
Yeah, they're not that good.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say because like So yeah, some of that stuff is not even rock or metal. Like it's like
No.
something that was what was cool at the time and a really bad version of what was going on at the time.
Yeah,
So,
a lot of bands did. I think didn't Faster like do industrial in
Yeah.
like the 2000s or something. Like
emo
a lot of,
Yeah,
industrial
I
type
bought that.
stuff.
yeah,
I had that one.
Yeah.
people get weird.
Yeah. Now some people did okay, like changing, like Shotgun Messiah, Richy, with
Yeah.
Violent
Oh
New
my
Breed.
God.
Look the
Violent
fuck
New Breed
out,
was
dude!
just
Like that
perfect
album is
for me.
really good. If you take that industrial production off of that album, that it sounds just like Second Coming, the album
Yeah.
before. It's still a sleazy album, you know.
Tim Skold is still touring industrial like now.
Yeah,
he's
I have one of his recent albums. I think it's just called Scold.
Yeah.
With the skull on the front and it's a yellow cover. That's a good album. Like it is industrial.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't sound anything like what we love about Shotgun Messiah, but it's still good. You know.
yeah.
But then again, that plays in the part of when he was in Marilyn Manson too. I would say.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. But I am very happy that the past year, if you guys have seen, Tim Skold put a picture up on Instagram of him and Harry Cody. And
Oh,
the
shit,
internet
no, I
went
didn't
fucking
see that.
crazy.
I somehow missed that.
Yes, I will send that to you.
Okay.
Because
that would be
the
fantastic.
internet went crazy. At least the hair metal internet went crazy. Because, like, obviously, Tim Skold never wants to talk about Shotgun Messiah and stuff.
I just got I see a comment that I want to get to after the Shotgun Messiah, but yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so
all
I
right.
think I seen the same one.
Are you look? Yeah, my buddy
I can't
Ben
see
just
them.
dropped Cinderella Still Climbing, which is also a great
Yeah, man.
shout.
Yes, very good. Who
Nobody
said the
respects
comment
that
there?
album.
Sam?
That's my friend Ben. Hi Ben.
Okay, let me look here.
I can see them.
It is on screen now.
Cute.
Yeah,
Okay,
that is a
that's Cinderella.
fantastic album.
Yeah, so I was going to say, Richy, are you familiar with Still Climbing?
I am sort of. I
Okay.
listened to it once or twice. I loved it, but I was, when you've got so much going on, sort of thing, that I just didn't come back to it. I liked it. I just wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go listen to that again and again and again.
Okay.
Don't know why. I just had a lot going, a lot of projects at the time. But yeah, I enjoy it.
Okay.
Same with Firehouse Tree. It's
Yeah.
Yes, I have something. I like Firehouse 3. I agree. I like Firehouse 3, but to me, it sounds like someone said to the band, "Hey guys, you can have a party, but your parents are upstairs, so don't get too loud." That's what it kind of sounds like to me. Like, there's good stuff on there, like great ballads. There's like
That is the
4
best
ballads
thing
on
I've
that
ever
album,
heard.
but like the rockers don't really rock. They're good songs, but they don't. There's not that like true anthem on there, like on the first 2, which is great.
Yeah.
Like maybe they're doubting themselves. They're like, okay, we've stuck to our original sound.
Yes,
Everyone's going alternative.
because that was what 94 Firehouse
man.
3 or maybe 5 that came out.
Something like that, yeah.
So I'm blind here, guys. I can't see. Oh wait, I didn't scroll down here. So Ben says Extreme waiting for the punchline.
That is also great. Yeah, a lot of people overlook after the first 2 albums. It seems to be a trend.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. Like, because no one even knew these albums came out after 1991 or at 1992 because there was no promotion for it. Because like even Michael Kelly Smith from Britney Fox, they sold gold on their first album and they almost went gold on their second album, and then the singer left, Dizzy left, and then when they went on tour a year later with their new singer and new album, fans that went to the show said, "Oh, we didn't even know you got a new singer," so they were expecting someone else. And that's just crazy to me when I hear that. Now, obviously, information doesn't travel like it does now back then.
Yeah.
But, man, if you're a fan of the band and you're expecting to see a singer and that singer's not going to be there,
And it's,
that's
That would be really disappointing.
Yeah.
Now, luckily,
I'd be a little upset unless the guy was really great. Yeah, if it's really great, it's fine. But it would kind of be like watching a cover band.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sort of, without like the other members are there, which is great. But
Yeah.
it would be be kind of sad.
Okay.
Well, that's promising. I didn't know that. Harry's posted Shotgun Messiah riffs. That's good to know.
Yes. Yeah. So now
There's a lot of hope. Okay.
So now Sane's World, that is when I was referencing that was Tim Skold that posted that. But Tim, if you can send me a picture of that, if you can find that, that'd be great. Then I can pull it up here. But yeah. So I think what are some of the other things? We talked about Subhuman Race. We talked about Monsters of Rock Cruise. Do you guys want to go check out and see what Sleaze Rocks and some of the news is for this week?
Yeah,
Hell
absolutely.
yeah, man.
All
Let's do
right,
that.
I'll pull that up for everybody here. Man. So let's see some of the chat here first. Still Climbing was a great album, he says, or she says, Rebel Heart Entertainment. Skid Row celebrate the 30th anniversary of Subhuman Race. I love that album, even though it's maligned by fans and the band alike, which we kind of.
Maligned. That's a
Yeah,
word,
Mali-
isn't it?
Yes,
What
that
is that?
I like that
Maligned.
word. I like that word a lot.
I'm going to
So,
use that. I'm going to make it my goal to use that word.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Now, Sane here says Tommy Paris was awesome, which is the singer that replaced Dizzy
Yes.
and Britney Fox. Absolutely amazing singer. Still is
Yes.
out there doing it. And he did his damnedest on Bite Down Hard for Britney Fox fans to forget about Dizzy. And, like, it's just a shame it just came out at the wrong time. So, let me share the screen here. We'll do Sleaze Rocks first, then we'll jump over to Junkyard. So, one of the... Actually, let me bring this up here. So, can you guys see this here?
I do.
Yeah.
Top 20 albums of 2024. I recently did a top 10, I think, or a top 5, whatever. But I want to get your guys' take on this as well. So we're going to go through these 20 albums, and I don't know all these albums either. So, like, just tell me what you do know and what you don't know. We'll kind of talk about what we do know, because that makes for a better conversation than what we don't know.
That does.
All right, so speaking of Skid Row, have you any of you guys listened to this new solo album from Sebastian Bach, The Child Within the Man?
Not from start to finish. I've heard a few songs, but
Okay.
I haven't sat down with it properly yet.
No, I have not. I didn't even.
Yeah, I haven't either. Now, like, I'm not like Sebastian Bach. Like, Angel Down was good from what, like 2006 or something, like around that time. That's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
decent album. But like, I don't really care for Sebastian Bach solo stuff for the most part. I didn't really hear nothing off of it, so I can't talk bad about it. But it is what it is. Whatever.
I absolutely hate the cover of Sebastian's new album. I hate it. I know it's unpopular opinion. I just don't like it. It's terrible.
What don't you like about it? What's part are we not liking here?
It's like somebody opened it's like somebody opened Canva and just slapped everything on top of everything. It's
You mean the music or the album cover?
The
album
cover.
over, man.
Oh,
Look at
okay,
it.
okay,
It's
all right.
so busy.
Well, I was gonna say
And
you could probably argue that for the music itself, but
and I know it's art done by his dad, and that's cool and all, but at the same time, like it's just so, you know.
Yeah.
yeah, I do hear people talk about the album cover, like either they hate it or they love it, and
Yeah.
I'm in the middle. Like, it is what it is. Like, that's not gonna affect my thoughts on the album, but like, it is what it is. I had no real opinion on it. to be
I feel
honest.
like there's going to be a song on the album that relates to that cover. I know that's like really cliche, but I think there's going to be a song about a farm girl
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah.
and
Maybe.
a car.
Is there-
or
is
a
there-
memory. Maybe it's like can you picture a memory of something in my head and then draw that, Dad? I don't
Is
know.
there a title track maybe on the album? Like, maybe there is a song on there, "Child Within the Man." I'm not sure.
Possibly. I only heard the one they did with Rob. That was
Okay.
the only one I
Okay.
know.
I gotcha. So, moving on here to the number 2. That was their number 1. That was Sleaze Rock's number 1 album of the year. Shockingly.
Yeah.
But number 2 here is Judas Priest, Invincible Shield. Now, I do have this album. I haven't listened to it, though, since I did a review of it, which it's not bad at all. It's
No.
pretty good. It's probably better than their last previous couple albums, in my opinion. But nothing I necessarily go back and visit, though.
When did that
Good
one
album
come out?
cover though.
It was early last year. It came out.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. See.
So yeah, I mean, Rob Halford still sounds damn good. For
Yeah.
being what, like 70 or something. Absolutely good. Good. He still sounds great. So, Sam, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I think it's exactly what you said. It's pretty solid. I mean, it's kind of at this point, you know what you're getting from a Priest album at this stage in their career. I mean, everything that Faulkner's been on, it's all been good, but it's all kind of just been the same, which is fair. They're at a stage where they really don't need to try to innovate. They can just
Yeah,
kind
they
of
know
cash
they know
in.
the formula. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just Judas Priest. What do you expect?
Yeah, exactly.
Especially like recent modern Judas Priest.
Yeah.
All right, so now this is one I can certainly talk about here. Vane, Disintegrate Together. Very, very good album. Came out, I think, middle of last year or so. Get around that time. But
I did not hear of that.
Cold Like Snow was the music video single off of this. Very, very good. The title track is damn good. It's a slow ending track, outro track, and Davey still sounds good. He still sounds like debut album, No Respect.
Yeah,
Davey
man.
Vane. Very good. Quite happy with this album. Now it didn't make the top 5 for me, but it was strong. There was a strong selection of albums, I would say, that I had to choose from for 2024. But this was certainly an honorable mention, and certainly one that you guys need to check out. So, anyone familiar with this album?
No, I'm quite shocked that it didn't come across my radar because I love Vane.
Well, to be fair, now, Davey, I don't think it's on Spotify. It's not on YouTube, other than the single.
Oh.
So that I don't know why you have to buy it literally to get it.
Wow.
So yeah, I was kind of surprised at that because like I literally had to like go into his website and buy like a couple CDs and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the idea is of that. I mean, I get it, which is kind of cool because I guess he doesn't want to give it to Spotify or whatever, getting raped for his work. But definitely a good album though. Good album. One if you can come across it, definitely check it out. So all right, we will move on here to the next. Suicide Bombers. Anyone familiar with this band? I can't say I've heard
I have heard some of the earlier stuff, I think. I remember that being on the rotation of albums that were around.
Guys, I'll be right back. I need to pee.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've
you
drank like this much.
Whoa.
That'll do it to you. That will do it.
But I haven't seen this new album before. It looks very candy.
Okay. All right.
Have you listened to this one?
I have not. Anything for you, Sam?
I'm not familiar with them, no.
Okay. So the Dillinger Compound shouted out and said, thoughts on Rob Halford's band Fight. I got a funny story for Fight because I like that album. Just a Little Crazy is a great song. I love that song. That's probably my favorite song on the album. And if anyone's unfamiliar with who plays guitar on that album, it's Satchel from Steel Panther.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
That is so
That's
random.
Yes, and it's funny because
He's
when I
a
went,
great guitarist. He's
oh my god,
fantastic.
yeah, I went back.
I feel like
now I saw Steel Panther live last year, and I got
I
backstage.
did 2 years ago. Oh,
you?
what?
Yeah, I got backstage and I talked to them, and I went up to Satchel and said to him, "Hey, dude, I love your work on Fight." And he was like, "Oh shit, really?" That's all. Like
Oh my
he was
God.
not expecting me to say that, and I was like,
I love this.
"Yes, it was." Yeah, and as Satan's World here says, Russ Parrish. Yes, I couldn't remember the last name, but I know his first name was Russ. So definitely, that's an album to check out because it's obviously Satchel and Rob Halford, and it's a couple other it's somewhat of a super group, if you will, that they did. They did 2 albums. The second one is not that good, but the first one is one to certainly check out. But yeah, so we'll move on here to the next one. We got Eclipse. I have heard of Eclipse.
I have
before.
seen this. Yeah, this has come up on my Facebook. I think it's got some good ads on it.
I know a lot. Yeah,
I haven't clicked on it because I haven't actually heard the band before, but
Okay.
I have seen this come
I
up
know a lot
lot.
of friends actually really like this band. And I never really listened to anything. So I
Yeah,
can't
do we
really
know
say
what
much.
kind of genre?
Yeah, they're more of the of a modern hair metal, type feel. So
I don't feel like their album cover's giving that.
Yes.
I'm thinking
I don't
like
know what it's
electric goth or something. I don't know.
no,
That's a good
yeah,
genre
it's certainly
of
not that.
electric
It's-
goth.
But no, yeah,
I don't
Eclipse,
know.
your classic hair metal type feel, but a modern band though. So,
Yeah.
good stuff. Anything on that? Now I don't know. I think they were actually on the Monsters of Rock cruise one of the previous years. It wasn't last year. but it was
Yes,
one of the.
they have been there previous. They honestly they might have been on this year and I missed them. I have no idea.
Oh, really? Okay.
But they seem to be fairly regulars. I saw them. I know I saw them last year. And yeah, it was pretty solid. I mean, it was nothing mind blowing, but
Yeah. All right. All right. Good deal. Yeah. Like I said, I haven't really listened to any of the singles. Don't have anything of theirs, so
yeah,
can't really make an opinion too much. But I appreciate them. I'll give them credit because they're
Right.
out here doing it and they sound great, just based on the genre that they're in. So, okay, I can certainly talk about this album. This was one of my favorite. I think this came in number 2 for me last year.
this was a great album.
Yes. Okay. You can back me up on this then. Babylon AD.
Yes.
The debut album is absolutely amazing from '89, and the second album is good, but not as good as the debut. But this album sounds like it could have came out either in place of the second album or
Yeah.
right after the second album. Like it sounds like classic Babylon AD. Derek still sounds really good. It's most of the band too, so that helps a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's 3 of the original guys still in the band. And so yeah, it really, really good stuff. The ballads on here are super good. Like the mid-tempo, Face of God, look the fuck out. Stryper wished that they could, well, not wish because Stryper's absolutely great. But I feel like Stryper was like, man, we missed we missed a chance at doing this song or writing this song because it's so good. And but yeah, I can't talk this album up enough. Sam, you want to talk about some of the things that some of the songs that you really like?
Yeah, I was just I remember I was driving to the mall when I put it on and I was like, oh shoot, I forgot they were putting this out. So I went into it. I'll be honest, I for some reason was expecting to be disappointed. I don't know why. I think it's just because you kind of are used to that. Like a lot of times with older bands putting out stuff, I'm like, all right, well, this is going to be good.
100%.
So that was a good mindset to go into it with, because as soon as I got through, it opens with Wrecking Machine, I think. As soon as I got through that, I'm like, oh my God, I was like, none of them have lost a step. Like they sound phenomenal. And it's even like sometimes people make weird production choices as they age. Like nope, guitar tones sound the same as 89, drum sounds sound the same as 80. Everything sounds like exactly off the debut. It's nuts.
Maybe I would just say maybe a little bit more polished. Like I would do that. But yeah, I agree with you though. Like it sounds like it could have came out anywhere between 89 to 93.
Yeah, like it did not disappoint at all. I love this album. They are fantastic, and I think Derek's been posting. I think they're writing and recording more. So
yes, I did see that as well. So I'm quite excited to see hear what they do next. So, Richy or Mizzie, any familiarity with Babylon AD or this album?
Not particularly.
yeah.
No.
Okay.
I haven't really listened to much of their stuff, to be honest.
Yeah,
but I will now.
I love the first album.
Nice.
All I can think of is, fucking RoboCop. The kid goes wild.
Oh, Sam Kinison?
Yeah, Sam Kinison.
Yeah, that's great.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, and Babylon AD is one of those bands that did get shafted. Like,
yeah.
That album, that debut album, look the fuck out. That album is so good.
I love
and
that album.
Like, I don't, and the songwriting is really good as well. Like, it's a good mixture of like some serious like mature songs, but there's also great party songs like Hammer Swings Down, Bang Go the Bells, and like you said, The Kid Goes Wild has fucking Sam Kinison in the middle of the song just yelling. Like, what else do you want, guys, to sell an album? Come on. Yeah. So, and you would think them being in like the RoboCop movie. Now, granted, it was the second one, I think, and that was a flop as far as like movie ratings and
it was a bit like what the fuck is going on. I do remember that. But all them RoboCop movies are a bit mental. Like.
Yeah, you're right. So like that, I mean, you would think that would help them, but maybe that actually hurt them.
Yeah, I'd buy that for $1.
Okay. So here's another one here. Kickin' Valentina, great new band.
Yes. Yeah.
Now this is actually what their 4th or 5th album. I can't remember how many albums this would be here now.
Something around that. Yeah.
Yes. Now I did not listen to this album sadly last year. I don't know
That
why.
title, man.
I
That
yeah, I know.
title.
I never came across it or wasn't able to get it. But that takes nothing away from my love for King and Valentina. They're a great live band as well. Anyone familiar with this album in particular? Or
No, I somehow missed. I didn't know that they put something out either, but I do agree with you. They are fantastic, and I wish they would play more. I don't know why they don't that much.
yeah,
That title is so American. Star Spangled Fist Fight.
Yeah.
yes, wear it proud. Yeah. Okay, so great band, but I can't say sadly anything about this album. That's another one for you, Mizzy, to check out.
I'll
Very
check it out.
sleazy.
Yeah, I'm having a look at it at the moment, just going through some stuff because it
Okay.
has sparked my interest.
Yeah, yeah.
They look cool together. They look like a bunch of cool dudes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah,
I see this.
they're all very easy to talk to as well. So like, cool guys. So.
I interviewed Jimmy on my channel.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Probably like two and a half years ago now. Yes, if you want to see Baby Sam, find that.
Yes, Baby Sam doing an interview. I got to see that now. Yeah.
It's somewhere.
Okay, I will actually check that out when we're done here. So, all right. So what we got here next is Kiss and Dynamite. Now I know someone has to be familiar with Kiss and Dynamite here.
I've seen them live. They're fucking
Did you?
amazing. Yeah,
Okay. All right. Let me ask this first then. How are they live?
they're phenomenal. They're
Really? Now,
Yeah.
I only have the first album. I don't have this album, the second here.
Yeah.
So, but do you get a feel of they are a mixture of power metal and hair metal? Is that a good
Yes.
comparison?
Yes. I would say that. They're a phenomenal band live. They bring an arena show to a theater. That's what they do.
Ah, nice.
And they mostly play festivals over here, but great band. They've consistently shelled out albums over the years. Just really fucking good band, man.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, wait. So how many albums do they have then? Was I wrong?
I've lost count. They've so
Oh
many.
shit! Really? Okay.
Yeah, man. They
Okay.
started young. I mean, they've been going maybe 15 years
Okay.
now.
Really?
Like,
Okay, I wasn't aware of
wow.
that. I thought they're not this album, but the album before this. I forget what it's called. But that was a good album, and I thought that was their
Yeah.
debut. Okay, so I'm wrong. Okay, all right.
No, they've a ton of stuff on.
Shit, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. All right,
And
I
in
got
the
some
last-
homework now to do.
Oh yeah, I'll send you some stuff.
All right, good. Because like I said, I have the previous album, but I don't have anything else. So,
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Jeremy. He just super chatted us for $5. Very cool,
Thank you,
Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you,
And
James World.
also too, I was on his channel. I actually got interviewed, which is crazy because I never thought about that, me being interviewed. But I was on his channel and they asked me many questions, and it was a super fun interview. And I think if I remember correctly, it might be out next Friday. So I will share that, Jeremy, brother. And thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. So awesome. And you are actually the first that ever super chatted me as the Crash Course Metal Show. So super badass. Jeremy, you got that spot. So,
You should send him a plaque.
yeah,
Of some sort.
I was gonna say, I'll send him a piece of the YouTube play button I'll receive
Yeah.
50 years down the line. All right, so I think we said our piece on. Or Sam, did you say your piece on Kiss and Dynamite?
I know nothing about them, but I will check them
I
out, and
know
I will say
nothing.
my piece next month.
Okay. All right.
that's
I'm sure they will come back up. So, all right. So speaking of Stryper, actually, we have Stryper's new album, When We Were Kings. I have some things to say about this album, but does anyone else have anything to say first on this?
It's what I'd expect. I mean, they all sound good still. It's pretty much what I expected from a Stryper album.
All right. Yeah. I
I
mean,
think they're coming here very soon to Australia.
are they?
Oh,
Yeah, I think we're getting them in a sec. We're actually getting a couple of cool bands come over. We got ZZ Top.
Okay. You have Or wait, you did have Winger, or you're gonna get Winger?
Oh, we're getting Winger. Yeah, that's coming
Okay.
up too. And we get Shree Curry. She's coming over randomly
Okay.
in September to do something. And who else do we have? But I think there's a lot of bands coming with ZZ Top, but I can't remember off the top of my head right now who's coming with them. But they're doing like this thing called Red Hot Summer, which we have. And last year we had Susie Q So I went and saw her, which is fantastic.
Okay, nice.
So yeah, we got some cool stuff coming over. We used to have this festival called. It went for 2 years, and then because something it got cancelled because there just wasn't enough money into it, or something like that, or the promoting and all the venues and things weren't working out, so it got cancelled. But it was like mine and a bunch of my mates' favorite event for the whole year, and we had like I think Faster Pussycat came over, and Enough's Enough was as well. I met Chip.
Ooh, okay, nice.
It was pretty cool. So that we had things like that, and now we don't have that anymore. Unfortunately, I think it's finished up for some sad reason.
Okay.
But yeah, we do have Winger coming as well, which would be really
nice.
cool.
Very nice. All right, so yeah, as far as the album here, Striper, I liked it. I don't. It made my honorable mentions, but it didn't make my list for last year. But like Sam said, it's what you expect. Like, it is probably one of the better Striper albums, besides Goddamn Evil. That album was, to me, Goddamn Evil is probably one of the best albums that they did like the last 15 years, in my opinion. Super. Yeah. There's like banger songs on there all the way through. Good ballads. But to your point though, Sam, like, there's a lot of these bands, like even in the thrash metal, like a lot of the older bands, like I guess you would say not legacy bands, but like bands from that era, like Overkill on the thrash side, Testament on the thrash side, Striper here. I feel like labels tell them, hey, we know what you're good at, and we know what will sell. Can you kind of just stay in this like box for us?
Do that, yeah.
If you will, you know, and like just so like people like just so you don't do like a Halloween Chameleon, basically, on us. Do you feel like you see that with some of the older bands?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, I'll sometimes, like, if I'll be on a long drive or something, I'll be in the mood for, and it only happens with very certain bands, and Striper's a big one that it happens with. I'll just, like, shuffle through Striper songs, because no matter what era, like, if I want to hear that sound, I know that I'm going to hear almost nothing but that sound.
Right.
Which is good and bad, because if I don't want that, then I don't want that. But I'm a kind of person who sometimes I'll just be in the mood. I'm like, okay, I want to listen to guitar harmonies for 4 hours, so I put on Striper, and I know what I'm getting.
Right. Okay. I'm with you there on that, because like certainly since they reunited in like 2005-ish, they had a very similar sound.
Yeah,
with the modern stuff.
It's interesting too, because Michael Sweet's solo material is also kind of in that vein. Like it's all, which makes me wonder how he differentiates. Like when he's writing, I wonder.
I know
what his brain is doing.
I know, because like when he does albums with Tracy Guns and George Lynch, like they put out full length albums, they like 2 apiece, and I'm like, how's he writing all this music? And like I feel like when you get spread too thin, some of the albums are a little lackluster then, whether that be Striper or with Lynch or with Tracy or whatever. You know, I just feel like you get stretched too thin, and it's, I don't know. I mean, he's still doing it. It still sounds good for the most part. So
yeah, he seems happy doing it. So.
Yeah. So, Richie, any thought on this album?
No, but I've been looking at the comments, and there's 2 guys talking about Rose Tattoo. Rose Tattoo are in Australia.
Yeah, that's one of our ones. I saw them like a couple of months ago. They're doing so much touring. Angry Anderson is touring heaps. He had Ronnie in the band for a while. I think he started his own band recently. Who was his guitarist? I don't know the name of his band, but he was with them. And I saw him play in LA when I was in LA like 3 years ago or 2 years ago. I can't remember what it was. So, and then they recently played here as well. So Rose Tattoo are awesome.
Nice. Okay.
They're a very Aussie rock band.
Really?
That can also fit into the hair metal sort of thing, but more like AC/DC sort of style.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm not really familiar with them, so I'll have to. That's another band I need to do some homework on. Very nice. Very nice.
I think they've got a song called Rock and Roll.
Yeah,
Outlaw.
that's one of their.
That's going back a long
Yeah, that
time
one's
since I've
used
heard.
on a lot of like Aussie documentaries and things. Like it's a go-to Aussie song.
All right, I will certainly check out that song here when we're done. Now, this is kind of like what we're talking about with Michael Sweet here. Jack Russell and Tracy Guns. I had not heard this album, and this is, I think, the last work that Jack Russell did, obviously, before he passed away here.
Yeah.
tragically.
I didn't either.
What is this? Hang on a second. What are we looking at here? Was it Tracy Guns in? He's in
Yeah.
everything, but
Yeah, and this is Jack Russell from the vocalist from Great White.
oh right, okay.
yeah.
So they've made an album together. Is that what we're
Right.
looking
Yep.
at here?
Last year they did this album here. What's it called?
Who does it
Is
say? I can't read it.
Medusa.
Is this a Frontiers thing?
I think it is.
Seems like it would be a Frontiers thing, yeah.
Frontiers. I will give Frontiers a lot of credit. They have been doing a lot of good shit.
They make stuff happen.
Yes, they do. And they kind of have that certain sound as well. Like when you hear a band and you know that they're all for Frontiers, you're like, I know I'm getting melodic greatness probably off.
Oh yeah. I don't know if it's gonna be on here, but they promoted the Cassandra's Crossing album that Cassandra Carson did with Georgia Lynch. Like that's fantastic.
Really? Okay,
It's a
I haven't
great
seen
album,
that.
yeah.
All right, nice. All right, good deal. I haven't heard this album though. Has anyone heard anything off of this?
I've not.
Okay. All right.
No.
All right. That is one I do need to get to. Because I do hear good things about it, but I just never got to it. All right, so we're going a little bit heavier here now. We're going to Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden, obviously. The Mandrake Project. This was a good album. I like this album. Now, Richy, tell me, because there's people that don't care for this album. They were kind of disappointed in it, but to me, I liked it. I mean, I liked it better than his previous two solo albums. Anything you want to say on that?
I mean, my girlfriend's dad, big collector of music. He brought it home the day it came out, and we listened to it in the living room and stuff. I really enjoyed it. I haven't gone back to it, but
I agree.
It's a good album. As far as the cover goes, yeah, I like it. It's very him. I like the concept, the Mandrake Project.
Yeah, the
like
singles were.
Yeah. But I'm quite surprised that it's so far down on the list, though. Given the name.
I kind of agree because it only made my honorable mentions, but like it's good though. Like there's certainly albums up here that I've seen that are higher that I would have probably placed higher as far as this goes. But yeah, the singles were good. Resurrection Man, I do like that. The bass breakdown on that song is really good. I like this album. A good bit actually. So, Sam or Mizzie, any thoughts on Bruce Dickinson?
Have not
work?
had this either.
Same.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Now
It's really strange,
you
the
guys
stuff
Iron Maiden?
that,
Are you guys Iron Maiden fans though?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Love Iron Maiden. I love everything about them. But yeah, we don't really get advertised much. Like the glam rock pages that I follow in Australia, I haven't seen any of these things come up. I know I should probably be going out and searching it, which I will for the next show because homework, right? But yeah, I haven't. These are all really cool albums. And I reckon they'd be quite significant for something that would need to be coming up on the glam rock pages. But I feel like for some reason I haven't seen any of these come up, or it's never been talked about, or I'm like hanging out with the wrong people. I don't really hang out with anyone, but I do want to hear all of these, and I haven't really heard much about them. I'm surprised that the Tracy Guns one didn't come up either.
Right.
For anything, which is really strange. I think we're quite limited in Australia with what music we have, and we don't really have, shows every single week. Like every day, we get them on the weekends. You wait for bands for the weekends, really. So.
Right. And that's kind of how it is over here in America now too, somewhat.
Oh shit.
I mean, well, depending where you're at and who you're going to see, but
yeah.
But yeah.
But this is kind of the problem with labels. Unless you're on Universal, the Mecca, unless you're on the Mecca that controls all the mainstream charts, what can Frontiers do for these bands other than just put their album out on YouTube and throw some money into some shop somewhere?
A shirt and a CD and vinyl form. That's all they can really do.
Yeah. So where do you? How do you go and find these? Like, where am I supposed to be looking to find all this stuff? Obviously, this page here, what is it called?
So this page here is called Sleaze Rocks.
Sleaze Rocks.
I will actually, for people that are on the YouTube,
on
the YouTube live chat, I will put a link right here, right now, to it, so they can check it out as well. So
because that's a great website that has all this information.
Yeah,
so I appreciate that.
And Sleaze Rocks is one that I've been following ever since I was like 13, 14 years old.
Oh, cute.
So it's been I appreciate what they did the last 15 plus years. So Sam, you were gonna say about Iron Maiden.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I am a Iron Maiden fan, but I'm not like I couldn't name every song off of
Die
Power
Hard.
Play.
Yeah, okay, I got you. All right, that's fair.
so
That's fair.
I have not followed Bruce into his solo adventures, but if it is worth checking out, I'll definitely check it out.
Well, I will certainly say, don't make this your you can make this your first one, but one of my favorite Bruce Dickinson ones is the debut solo album from 1990. It's very hair metal-y feel. Very melodic.
Why do I feel like I know something from
Tattooed Millionaire?
I've definitely heard a Bruce Dickinson solo song.
Okay.
All
right, so I would say, since we all kind of like the same kind of vibe there, or sound, check out Tattooed Millionaire first.
Okay.
Then move on. Okay.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Fucking, you can track Bruce Dickinson's career by the length of his bangs.
Yeah.
Like if they're short, if they're up here, it's 91. If the hair is all gone, it's 2000.
That's a good point. Very
right?
good point.
Does it make a comeback?
Yeah. Well, actually,
do we get like a 2024 long hair plugs Dickinson?
I was gonna say.
Do we get this?
Oh man, we are full Turkish hair transplant, man. It's
yes.
All right, so we'll do
Beautiful.
one. We'll do one more here, and that will be the Dead Daisies. Now, this is John Corabi's band, correct?
Yes.
Or is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Or
I think it's like a rotating cast, it seems.
Yes, okay, it is, because there's also like the Screamin' Daisies I get confused with too. There's like a couple Daisy bands, and I'm like, I can't really keep track of all this here, of the same name. So
Too many daisies, man.
yeah, it's so I don't know this album, but I do love John Corabi's work on 1994 Motley Crue. I love his work on his solo stuff, his band, The Scream.
Also Union. Union
yes.
is great too.
I do have a couple of Union albums, but I have not visited them yet. So I do need to burn them onto the iTunes. So I'll do that, and I'll get back to you on that, Sam.
And in a month's time, we will discuss Union.
Yeah.
Look forward to that, everybody.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the Union that no one even knows about, probably. Yeah,
No.
yeah. But that's what we love. We love talking about that stuff that was just unknown and forgotten. So, but Chemical Wedding is a good album from Bruce Dickinson. Some people do say that that's his masterpiece, but I would disagree with that. Check out my Bruce Dickinson ranking video if you guys want to check out which album I like the best. So go find that, please. So that I think for time purposes, we will stop at number 12 here. The date.
I think my phone's about to die.
Oh no!
So I'm getting close to like 15%.
We're gonna lose a soldier.
We're gonna lose a soldier. So we got. Hopefully you can last 15 minutes yet, Mizzie.
I think it should be right. Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise,
So-
I can.
All right. That is kind of what I wanted to talk about here. So we will real quick go through a couple of headlines. So that we're going over here to Junkyard Rock Stories. Do you guys see that, or I don't? I need to share that one. Okay, hang on. I will share that. Junkyard Rock Stories. Now you've written some articles for Junkyard,
Dude, I don't
right?
see shit.
Richy?
I have one on a Google Doc. I'm not finished it yet.
Okay.
But he's done some articles on myself.
Right, yeah.
And yourself.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I like him.
Great site.
He does good work, kind of similar to Sleaze Rocks here. He actually started doing his own like reactions, I think, too, if I remember seeing that. So actually, he has here, Richy, Crash Diet Treasures, a page every fan needs to see. It looks like there's like a lot of old pictures and such.
Yeah, I came across that. Maybe what was it, a week ago? It came up that the guy who he's writing about, that guy messaged me and asked me for my scripts for my documentaries. He collects everything Crash Diet.
What?
Like it's, oh yeah, like he is like Kiss level like memorabilia.
Yeah,
It's
hell
cool
yeah.
though.
That's better. And anyone who's keeping that like pioneering renaissance or like second wave of sleaze metal alive, I'm here for it. That's great shit. Like, and it needs to, because
Yeah,
like
man.
I was just talking about Dirty Penny on a video today or earlier this week, and like to go find those albums physically, they're going on eBay for over $75. Like, no.
You're
And if you
joking.
want a signed one, it's like 150, which understandably. But like they had 2 albums and there was just no promotion, there was just no backing, no support from fans. So like they only made a couple hundred probably, or maybe 1,000, I don't know, but like yes.
MySpace
Yeah.
era, wasn't it?
They were pretty popular in the MySpace era, like in that world.
MySpace is great.
Just like with Facebook and stuff like that. But like as far as like grassroots, or like outside of California, no, probably no one knew about them.
Like,
So
we need to track them down and like talk to them.
speaking of sorry guys. Speaking of Krash died. What happened to Simon? Like, why is he not in that anymore?
He walked away after the Japan tour. Basically, Simon Cruz was a character, and Simon Stoderson was the real guy. And you know, it kind of got blurred. He kind of started becoming the character he created.
Oh wow,
and he didn't like it, so
crazy.
He retreated. In a nutshell, that's basically what happened.
Like with all the chains and the hair,
he didn't want to do
and
it anymore. So
all of that. And then now he's become like
yeah,
a
I mean, if you go onto his Instagram,
from what I've seen, it doesn't social media anymore.
Yeah, like his hair's he's super long hair, keeps to himself. It seems. I've tried reaching out after I made the documentary on him. I can't get a word.
Yeah, I don't think he's just gone
Can't
completely
get a
off
reply
social
off him,
media.
so.
So I was like, oh my god, what a bay! And now he's gone. So.
Yeah.
That's
a shame. It just kind of. There's actually a couple people that I know, like from like the mid to late 2000s, that were in bands and only did like an EP and album, kind of like the classic story of the second wave of sleaze metal, and they just totally go and do some like electronic music or like totally switch genres, and it blew my goddamn mind. I'm like, you made this great EP or album, and you just totally go and do something else and don't even look like who you set out to be or whatever, which people change. I get it. That shit happens, follow your heart or whatever. But I think he this particular band knew, the writing's on the wall and we can't survive like this,
Yeah.
It was like, like if I was to feed you pepperoni pizza every day, eventually you're going to get fucking sick of it and want Chinese. It's maybe that was the case. It was just, I can't keep doing this. Got to do something else. It's not fulfilling.
You don't like to say you're in it for the money or whatever. Of course not. But there has to be some kind of support though. And that's what I think a lot of people don't realize. And that goes back to the Spotify argument and YouTube and like streaming and stuff. When you don't support, you don't buy merch or anything,
Yeah, now apparently like everything has to be about buying merch. Or I was listening to a podcast and I was saying about for musicians now, instead of, and I don't know if this is an agreed opinion or not, but saying that you have to have subscription pages is a great way for musicians to make money now, since we're losing it all in making music. And it's only going to get harder now because of AI. Anyone can be a songwriter now. Anyone can put
a we lost her. The battery died. Oh no.
She was talking bad about AI, so
yeah, that's true. Look out, Terminator is coming around here. But Sam, I wanted to get your actual, because you're the closest to that, I think. Like when you were with Stephen Piercy, did you see a lot of merch sales? Or can you kind of like see what you see out in the field? Basically?
Yeah, it's harder. Like with Steven, it's not as prominent as an issue because it's not as big with the legacy bands. I mean, like the merch money is nice, but he's still
living off the royalties.
Royalties, and like the venues will give a good guarantee because people, they know people will come to the show because everybody knows at least a song. So, but it's really more a thing with the younger bands, which I have talked to Steven about. My friends in the band Lost Hearts opened for one of the shows a couple months ago, so I introduced him to Steven after. And a big thing Steven was saying, he's like, you guys have to sell physical music. He's like, put vinyl out. He was telling them, he's like, vinyl CDs, you have to bring this to shows, sell it at merch. Like he was like, don't get fucked by Spotify. That was his big thing, was just physical media. And it's good because it's making a comeback now too. I mean, younger people will collect vinyls and cassettes and all that. So it's good. It's a good thing to come back.
So
Yes,
I have
Richy.
a question. Regarding merch, right? Over here, a lot of venues will take a percentage of the artist's merch sales. Is that
They
happening
do as
over in
well.
America
Yeah, I
too?
just did a tour doing merch
Cool.
December, and yeah, I'd say about 75-80% of venues took a cut.
Wow. Do you know what the cut was?
It depends. It'll be the common thing is like 10% soft, 20% hard, which is basically like 10% on like t-shirts or like apparel, and then 20% on like CDs, keychains, all that stuff.
Damn. Okay.
That's common. That's the main one. But man, yeah, it sucks.
It just seems like a dirty
Especially
tactic,
when
doesn't
it's stuff like what I was doing. I mean, if you have like a venue person set up and sell the merch, that's one thing. But like my job was to tour and do merch. Like they brought it. The venue didn't have to do anything. I set everything up, and the venues were still taking a cut, which is
wow.
it's annoying.
All kinds of horror stories out there on the road, or just in the music business in general.
Live Nation.
Yeah, I hear so much shit, and it can deter a band from doing live shit. Ah, man, that's crazy. So, guys, I think it's pretty much close to the 2-hour mark, and I think that's where we wanted to start wrapping up. So, please, guys, check out Mizzie. I will, I guess, promote for her real quick since
May she rest in peace.
Yes, since AI took her out here. So I will bring up her page here, her Facebook page. So if you guys want to check her out, please do that. You see, she does all kinds of stuff. She works with her like side projects as well. She does music during the side, and it's just really cool. She creates all kinds of content. So go check her out, support her, and we would appreciate that. So, Sam, you're next.
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everything is at Sam Wall Music. Or just there it is. I promise I will start posting more. I am doing stuff. I'm just not filming it, but soon I'm going to start doing stuff and filming it, so it will be there. But yeah, find me there. I will definitely be posting more regularly.
All right,
I promise. And if I don't, message me and yell at me until I do.
I will be the first one to message and yell at you then.
Yes, you will. I'm trying to get. I'm so bad at Twitter, but I see you keep. I appreciate you tagging me on Twitter. I'm so bad at going on Twitter, but
I know. I tag you and Mizzie all the time in my
try to
now.
keep me in.
And I'm like, where are these guys at, man? Come on.
Yeah.
But thank you, my man, for coming on. That's been awesome.
Thank you, Krash. Thank you for having me.
Yes, and we will see you next time. You can chill here till the end, and we'll have a little post party, if you will, real quick. So, all right, Richy, my man, tell us where everyone can find you.
Okay, I'm on YouTube, Richy Kourse Productions, RICHY, Kourse Productions. I've got a brand new documentary out, like I said in the beginning, End of the Row, all about the subhuman race era. I do all sorts of content, musical breakdowns, documentaries, reactions, all that good stuff. If you want to check me out. I'm looking at the mic. Why am I looking at
I don't know. Why are you there? Yeah, I can't answer that for you, my man. But it's great, though. Guys, great channel. If you like the documentary style stuff, there isn't a better rock channel, especially for underground and forgotten bands as well. Like Richy will not talk about the same old stuff, and that's great. That's what we like to see. So, guys, for me, I guess I will plug a little bit of my shit here. Tomorrow, I will be releasing another Forgotten Album series episode for, what was it, 1991, I think it was, part 6. And then also Sunday, I will be releasing an interview with Gary Jeffries, the vocalist for Asphalt Ballet, from a great debut album in 1991. check that. That's another homework for everyone. Check that album out.
I will definitely have to.
But yes, that is what's going to be coming up for the Crash Course Metal Show this weekend. And thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. This has been fun. Like, was our first time doing this all together, and I think it was great.
Man. Great.
So
Thank you.
let us know in the comments, guys, if you guys are rewatching this. Let us know in the comments or let us know in the live chat. So, Richy, Sam, and Mizzie out there, thank you guys and girl for coming on. This has been great. So, until next time, guys, stay out of that collateral damage, and we will see you guys later.